Guys, I'm on my way home. That's right. It's the annual Christmas sojourn. But first, we have to discuss the film Star Wars. Some of us have seen it twice. I'm looking at you, me. If you have not seen this movie, we're going to, as the kids say, spoil it heavily. So please, I insist, I want you, I'm talking to you, to enjoy this film. Do not listen to this podcast under any circumstances, because we will be discussing Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, this week on the Triple Threat Podcast. And that was the music. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming to the show and listening, and for watching
Thank you
Star
for
Wars.
coming to the show. Thanks
for coming. Yes. Take a seat over there. Mind the mess. Mind the filth. The high school students that cleaned the theater before you came in didn't do such a good job, but hey, we hope we do a good job this week. And if we don't, we can't be fired because no one pays us anything. So we're just sitting here doing our thing. It's the Triple Threat Podcast. I'm William Vaughn, and I'm with no one this week. It's just me, and I'm just going to talk the whole way through. We usually do an hour. This week, looking at 5 days straight. So,
oh wow! I just got whiplash from how quickly people turned our podcast off,
bro.
Also, I have a spoiler-free story before Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yes.
Well, who's that? Who's talking?
I'm Matt. I broke into Will's solo podcast.
That's right. It's Matt Vaughn. He's the guy who.
He's the guy.
He throws it all together, and Alex is the guy
tears it all apart.
Who tears it all apart. Yes. Yes.
It's not inaccurate. I'll take that.
The shrug of the neck. Okay, maybe I do that. Maybe I do.
Oh,
what do you know? What do you know?
What we gonna do about it? You know what we gonna do?
So, Will, when did you see Star Wars for the second time? I know this might be a weird question to start with. Are you seeing it Saturday?
Did he do Thursday, Friday?
I thought you had a story. I saw. Okay, it's the first show I saw Thursday night at 7. Me and my friends
saw Friday.
All enjoyed some Skywalker wine before the show, and then one of my friends, he had a work party planned, like a Christmas party planned. And part of the party was they will see The Force Awakens Friday at 10. And one of his friends was like, yeah, man, I got some stuff I got to do. I can't really go. So he's like, Will, do you want to go? I'm like, yeah,
what an idiot.
I
don't want to see Star Wars.
Yeah, he's just like, to be honest, I don't really like Star Wars. Like, well, I'll take that. I'll take that ticket away, sir. So I saw it twice within, 15 hours? Something like that.
We're both in 3 dimensions?
Both were in 3 dimensions, yeah.
Well, both were in 3 dimensions.
Yeah. One was in the back row of the theater. One was in the 5th row of the theater.
Oh, neither one was that great a choice.
Okay.
Well, I didn't choose it, and also you take what you can get, and also enjoyed it the same.
That's good.
From any seat in the house. What's your story, Matt?
So my story is, I went to see it in 2 dimensions at 10 o'clock on Friday. That was very intentional. I wanted to eliminate the possibility of kids and 3D glasses. So I went there. And I went like an hour early. It was a 10:20 showing, and we got there at like 9:30, which I realize is not a full hour, but it's close to an hour.
50 minutes.
I was in
50 minutes, 5-0. And so we're waiting in line. Like, there's already, like, when we got there were probably 30 people in line. So we went in, got our seats, great seats, probably the best seat I could have asked for. Dead center, 5 rows to the back. It was beautiful.
Nice.
And so we're talking before the movie. It's me and my friend Chris, my friend Jason, and we're talking about the next Star Wars movie to come out, which is the Rogues movie. Don't say the title of it because that's the point of the story. And so I was like, I'm pretty sure the name of the movie is Rogue One. And then my friend Chris was like, no, I think it's Rogue Leader. And my friend Jason was like, I think it's Rogue Squadron. And like we're just like regular pitch of our voices.
Which is loud.
Which is
loud. Exactly. It's 1.5 times louder than most people. And so I just say, in the same speaking voice, just say, so if there's anybody overhearing us right now, it's not weird. Just tell us which is true. Like, because we're in a theater full of Star Wars people. And so I just like, if anybody can overhear us, I'd love for you to step in.
If anyone can hear me.
And 2 things happened.
Uh-oh.
The first was a guy who was by himself turned around and said, it's called Rogue One. It's about them stealing the plans for the Death Star. And at the same time, a girl in front of me turned around and was like, "My boyfriend's nodding. It's Rogue One. You're right."
My boyfriend's
Even
nodding.
Rogue One, I believe that gentleman is nodding and received confirmation that if you want 30
hear me,
opinion, I suggest you go to
I'm
the
saying
3D
right
show.
now.
It's Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is what it's called.
A Star Wars.
A Star Wars story.
gross.
I know they should probably change
Rogue One, a Star Wars tale.
Directed
Tale
by
of-
Mick G.
that. A Tale of Two Stars.
A tale of two stars, the wars between them. I want to also just give a quick shout out to. We have an author on the show this week, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a shout out to Alex for his contribution to
That doesn't make Alex an author, just to be clear.
Hustle. He's a published.
He's a
No.
writer.
Published. Yeah, not an author.
Yeah.
Although I do have an ebook coming out.
Hey, there we go.
I call him an author because he's my brother, and I'll pump his tires.
You'll exaggerate his successes.
Yeah, he's a Nobel Prize winning
And
author.
someone's got to.
It's a Nobel Peace Prize. If you go to Hustle and Grind Co/George-Lucas, you will see
You just go to Hustle and Grind /blog, and then it would be like the first hit on there, I think.
Yeah, or mine. And it's entitled 4 Often Overlooked Collaborators That Helped Make George Lucas a Billionaire. And it's a nice little article about some folks in Star Wars who, yeah, George gets all the credit, but some other people behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, really brought the whole thing together because, you know, all back in the day, all George can do is be like, yeah, then there's this guy and he does the thing. But then someone's got to make what the thing looks like and what the thing sounds like, and it's got to edit together and really, you know, key up the writing. So, props to Alex for a nice little article about Star Wars from a guy who wouldn't tell you that he's all about Star Wars the first time you see him, but the second time
No.
you see him, he might.
But yeah.
If you see him again, he's one of those guys that if you meet him, you don't like him, and then when you meet him again, you like him less.
You
but then
really don't like them?
You really come around to it.
12th, 13th, 14th time,
I grow on you.
he's like a fungus.
Actually, that's not true. It's like whatever your first impression is usually correct. So
All right,
you
let's
like
get
me,
to
you
let's
like
get to
me,
Star
no, you
Wars.
don't.
We don't talk
So, what
about
was your
that.
first
do
impression of Star Wars, everyone?
I'll start.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
I
go.
just,
We'll go
I just like the idea.
youngest,
Will, I thought you were going to answer your own question immediately.
oldest.
It's okay if you do.
I mean, I got to mention this first of all. We talked too much about what would be before the the crawl. Remember we talked last week about that?
Oh yeah.
I was so pleasantly surprised that, you know, after all the commercials and trailers and theater
Oh my
logos,
god. Yeah.
then it's just Lucasfilm, and then just boom, here we
Boom.
go.
They didn't even do in my theater. They didn't even do like a feature presentation.
No, they
Oh,
didn't
really?
either. I don't
No.
think they did mine either. They didn't
No,
have
they-
that stupid rocket ship. I hate
Yeah,
that.
they just went immediately to
Right, yeah.
Lucasfilm, and I think it kind of caught people off guard.
It kind of was nice though, wasn't it?
You're like, oh, I guess.
I wasn't ready. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
turn it off.
All right.
I wasn't ready.
right as mine was starting. There was like as Lucasfilm and as the crawl was starting, there were some people behind us talking like pretty animatedly, but in a language I don't speak, and I was very close to leaving or telling them to shush.
How many languages? Was it Bocce? If you get an interpreter, try to make sure it speaks Bocce.
I'm fluent with over 5 million forms of communication. that one was not used by the rebellion, so I wasn't sure what it was.
Yes, yeah. It could be an
Sorry,
Imperial code.
it could be an Imperial code. Whatever it is,
Yeah,
it's not friendly.
Hey, this is See, but this show is friendly to any Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. So movie starts, opening crawl, episode 7, The Force Awakens. For me, little tear both times. Actually.
I was going to ask if you cried.
Gosh.
I'll just say throughout the film, no, I kept it together, but there was for the Star Wars thing, I was like a little because it's just such a big. It's a big song, and it's just just the starkness,
A lot of pomp,
the,
a lot of
the
circumstance.
Star Wars logo going off into space.
Yeah.
That was there, and
Like Episode 7, The Force Awakens. You're like, oh, they actually did it.
This is really the
and
movie.
I felt
film.
the same way about Episode 1 too, and 99, which is like, wow, it's a new.
It really is disbelief, and it really like watching it. I was like, I guess this is Star Wars, guys. This is happening.
It's
If
happening.
that was Star Wars, they made it.
Oh God, that was supper. We had it. And then, and here's where the spoilers start. Right away.
Oh, again, spoilers out the yin-yang. If you haven't seen this, there's going to be every single plot point ever devised, real or not. So last chance for shutting this off.
If you haven't seen it, or if you're my friend's friend who just doesn't like Star Wars, then keep listening.
Yeah.
You can go huff a bag of gasoline.
Yeah. Wow. People do that.
Sorry, Bantha doo-doo. I
Yes.
forgot I was going to make it a little more seasonally appropriate.
Yeah, Nerf herder who doesn't like Star Wars. So right away.
What do you call him scruffy looking?
Right away, Luke Skywalker has vanished. Boom. There you go.
Oh, see, that was
In the
great
crawl.
because
In the crawl.
I loved it because it was people were like, so where the heck is Luke? Like, why isn't he in any trailers? And it's like immediately, it's like that's not the case. Also, people were like, I bet Kylo Ren is Luke Skywalker.
Oh, that was a popular. Popular theory.
and immediately it's like, well, no, that would make no sense.
Okay, so you guys are answering some. I'm going to be the lay person because I have no understanding of the whatever we call it. What do they call it? Extended universe? Or
Well, there is no expanded universe
Yes,
anymore.
exactly.
Okay, and that was my question. Like, no one knew Kylo Ren's brand new in this movie.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that's what I thought, and I was pretty sure. But we
knew
had
his
some
parents.
theories going into it on who he was.
Yes, and that's good. So it's fine. So we have. I mean, I'm sure they did publish a book called Aftermath, which was part of this new Disney canon. I don't know why I threw it quotes, but and now I want to check that book out of the library. So now we have like about
and read it
and read it. Now we have about 32 years of books that they probably can write. It's like this is what happened in between because there's a book called Shadows of the Empire and a comic book and a video game about what happened in between Empire and Return of the Jedi. But now
I'm just not the person who's going to be like, oh, well, if you watch this movie, you had to read these 3 books to really get the full
and they won't do that to you either.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Because Star Wars, first and foremost, even though they are available in books and comics and all sorts of things, they're movies. They're not movies based on a book. They're movies, flat out.
Simple.
I mean, George Lucas did write a book called Star Wars, which I did read. I think I've read the novelization of each movie, actually. But yeah, they're movies first and foremost. So you don't anything you're like, what happened in this movie is everybody's what happened in this movie.
Okay, and that's what I thought, but it wasn't positive.
Yeah. So there's the crawl. I liked JJ's interpretation of our opening ship shot, where it has like
so good.
The Star Destroyer shadow going over the planet with kind of like the cross nose on it. I thought that was very very cool. It was stylistic and yet appropriate. Also, I realized that in all the original trilogy, the first ship you see is a bad ship, is an evil Imperial ship. And I think in the prequels, all the first ships you see are good guys. What I will say,
changed. The sides changed, so maybe it makes perfect sense that they do.
It does make perfect sense.
So the prequels are the best.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I actually I couldn't hate them more after seeing that movie.
Well, that's the thing. It like kind of renders the prequels irrelevant in a way, doesn't it? There's one passing reference to a clone army, and that's about it.
But that's also, they could have just said that like if you didn't have the prequels, they mentioned a Clone War in Star Wars, so it's just as acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. It's like who's saying? Somebody was saying like, should somebody watch this movie if they haven't seen the previous Star Wars movies? And I'm like, they could, because then they shouldn't, but they could, because in this movie they're like, oh, you're Han Solo, you're Chewbacca, oh, where's Luke Skywalker? If you're just
plus, I think the breadth of the way that Star Wars permeates, all culture, you have a basic understanding of it.
Right. Oh, it surrounds us, binds us, penetrates us.
What was the first thing in the movie that surprised you guys? What was the first thing you're like, oh?
When Poe disappeared for me.
When Poe disappeared.
When the Poe was captured?
No, when him and
when Boyega's there and he's just gone.
And he's gone. I'm like, I guess you could just like get rid of him early, but I was like, that was kind of a big actor to just like be gone.
It was one of those things where I was like, there's a scene in the trailer that I know hasn't happened yet.
Well, that happened to me at the very end. At the very end, I'm like, but we'll get to that. But I was like, I know there's a shot in the trailer that hasn't happened yet, which means somebody's still around.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and I agree with you.
and I'm wrong, actually. There's many things before that surprise me that I think about it.
Not everything that was in the trailer was in the movie, though.
No, which is good.
The first thing that surprised me is the first character you see, which is Max von Sydow. It's like, oh, he's there right away.
Yeah.
I was like, as soon as they announced Max von Sydow, I was like, there's your bad guy.
Guy.
And I couldn't have been more wrong. He's just a nice guy.
He's a nice old guy.
Poe Dameron hanging out with him and BB-8.
It's like, I knew who you were.
Bill
Before
Belichick
you were
8. That's what we're going to call him for the rest
Bill,
of this podcast.
Bill Belichick 8.
It's going to be how many Super Bowls he wins in.
Basketball 8. So Max von Sydow surprised me. I thought BB-8 would have been Ray's droid based on what I saw in trailers.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt.
But he's...
I don't even understand what that sentence means.
Like, it looks in the trailers, it looks like Ray just has a droid and he's BB-8.
Oh, Ray's droid. I heard Ray as in like raised, and I was like, I don't understand what a raised droid
Hey,
is.
it's an elevated droid, Alex.
Yeah.
It's not that
So
hard to
Ray's
understand.
droid, which is what I call my bathtub muffle.
I'm very open with my use of steroids.
Where'd they go, though?
Yeah, very open, and I don't like them. Yes, I thought it would have been Ray's droid,
Gotcha.
and also what surprised me was the joke right away when Poe's knelt in
Yes,
front of.
when he's like, "Who talks now? Should I talk? Is it you?"
I can't really understand you with the mask of the
Yeah.
apparatus. It's kind of difficult. And
He's
also
a badass.
And also Kylo Ren stopping the laser blast. Like, there's a lot of surprises.
Oh, that was really cool when
Right
he
away.
stopped.
When he did that, I was like, "Oh, is the Force evolving and are Jedi just getting stronger?" Because I feel like I can't imagine anyone being able to do that in another movie.
Yes,
I
Vader.
feel like Obi-Wan
blocks
doesn't
laser.
Obi-Wan get rid of some.
Vader has one hit his hand, but
Yeah.
like this one just seemed so much more like, oh, he just kind of stopped time there a little bit.
Yeah, and also Kylo Ren's power to extract information, like stuff
Yeah.
from your mind with the Force, is something we haven't seen. Because in A New Hope, Vader's like, "And now, Your Highness, we'll discuss the location of your hidden rebel base." And that little
Evil
interrogator droid comes over.
Yeah.
With like little needle, which apparently one of my eagle eye friends spotted in like kind of lying in the corner in one of the rooms on the Starkiller base.
Yeah, I think I saw that too.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. So you got confirmation. But yeah, I think that's a new power, the power to extract something from the mind. So yeah, I do think the Force can evolve and change, which I like. So cool, and even like the blood on the on the stormtrooper helmet right away.
Well, we had talked about this when the trailer first came out. I'm like, oh, you see a stormtrooper without his mask, and you're like, well, he could be, for the light side of the Force, the Republic, or someone just wearing a stormtrooper outfit. And then it turns out that Johnny Boyega was raised a stormtrooper and has been a stormtrooper all his life. Also, the blood when the stormtrooper gets shot and like wipes it on his mask, you're like, oh, because you don't really get in my memory a lot of stormtrooper perspective in any of them.
None. They're just they're
putties.
They're putties. Exactly. Putties is exactly what they are.
Yeah.
They're buddies, with the big Z on their chest that you hit and they explode.
They explode and they disappear.
Well, did you ever hear the word stormtrooper in the original triology?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if that's stupid. Okay, but like the fact that like, oh, he was a stormtrooper is kind of like a weird thing of like, oh, like he's someone that we can. I don't know. He's just like, oh yeah, he's a stormtrooper, no big deal. It's like the stormtrooper was so other before because they could barely tell that they were human.
Yeah, and you don't get, at least in my memory, a real understanding of how they become stormtroopers. So Finn was taken away from his family from a very young age. Doesn't even have a name when we first see him.
Yeah, his name's not Finn. It's great.
FN2187.
Wow,
if I remember correctly.
Yes, he did. You did. That's incredible. And another Stormtroopers references TK something, which made me kind of happy.
TK421, get at your post.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I never even put that together. That's exactly what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
That's a direct continuation.
They have the same filing system. I mean, it is called the First Order, so they are organized. All right,
yeah.
think about
It's about the third Reichiest thing I've ever seen in Star Wars.
Oh, it is, yeah, for sure.
When Hux has his little speech, I'm like, oh, God.
When he's going ham.
Great.
Donald Gleason's just going off.
The camera's right in his face. His eyes are bloodshot red, and he's
not blood red mad.
Not blood red mad, but he's got such fire. Also, shout out to all the British actors who are so good at being just evil military type people, being part of the First Order, being sitting there like, so.
You know what I forgot? And because I saw the movie on Saturday, and I haven't seen Donald Gleason in a lot that I can think of. I'm like, he's pretty good. And then Sunday morning, I was just going through the movie, I'm like, Domhnall Gleeson. I'm like, he's got to be Brandon Gleeson's son. The resemblance is uncanny, but it hit me like way after the fact.
Is he? Is he a son?
I think he is.
He is. Yeah, he absolutely is.
So
he was Matt, like his dad was Mad Eye Moody in the Harry Potter movies, and he was Bill Weasley.
He was also in Bruges. And
no, I know, but I'm referring to the fact they were both in the same movie.
The same series. Yes.
Let me get to it, man. I got my reasons.
Okay. And then,
but yeah, it hit me way later for some reason. I was like, oh.
He was such a great,
really
like, evil British type, like a Grand Moff type, a Tarkin type character.
Yeah, a grandmother Tarkin.
Grandmother Tarkin. GMT.
Can we talk about, and you guys probably might want to get to this, but the first time we see Snoke?
Yes.
I think we probably all think the same thing, which was that guy's a straight up giant.
Yeah,
I've never seen a giant in a Star Wars
there's
movie.
no like human giants, for lack of a better
Human
term.
giants. There's no Aziz Ansari.
Yeah, there's no Aziz Ansari or Rob Hubel. And I was like, kind of that's kind of dumb. And then I was like, oh.
It's just a damn
I get it now.
hologram.
Yeah, it turns into a hologram.
I was so
it was
grateful.
a hologram, but you are made aware that he's a hologram. I was like, that is much better.
I was like, how are you supposed to beat that guy if he's straight up 50 feet tall?
I was thinking that, like, my mind cut to the end of, like, episode 9. It was like, you just run through his legs and, like, cut his toes off or something. Like, what do you do? You just,
Some, like,
you
Legend
get
of
a
Zelda,
snow
Link
speeder
to
and you
the
wrap
Past
around his
stuff.
yeah, exactly. Or you wrap his legs around with the snow speeder's tow cable and he'll fall and then explode.
How cool is that when Rey's in Jakku and she's at her, like, house.
Oh,
and she comes
amazing.
out and it's
an AT-AT.
AT-AT.
Yeah, I love that. I was like, she lives
What's the
inside of
two-legged
one.
one? ATST?
Yeah, the Chicken Walker's
Okay.
ATST.
Yeah, Chicken Walker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it because it's so casual. It's just like she's in here, she's marking the days, and she's been left alone. And it's just like, yeah, she just lives in an AT-AT.
And she
probably,
the great thing is she probably doesn't even know what it is. It's just a piece of.
Well, she would know it's an Imperial thing.
Would she know it's an Imperial thing?
Yeah,
She's
I
a
mean,
lot of knowledge
she lives
about
on the planet
ships
where that
because-
happened, right?
Yeah, she has a lot of knowledge about ships because of what happened on that planet and
that's a good
all
point.
her
I think her lineage is also one of the reasons she knows a lot about
salvaging,
ships.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
For
salvaging, which, her spelunking in the sunken Star Destroyer comes up later. It explains why she can kind of crawl around the Starkiller base and, like, when she's crawling down the thing and she pulls the lever and hides inside. It makes sense. Let's talk about.
She hasn't been in jack crap either, so she did very well.
Yeah.
For a basic unknown actress.
Oh yeah, she
Although
said,
JJ called her acting wooden on the first day, and she almost had a panic attack.
Sure. Oh, how could you not?
Yeah.
Got to break her first, man.
Yeah. Gotta break her down and build her up.
Let's talk about Daisy and Rey.
Let's try and keep it chronological because I know we're jumping.
Yes, we are jumping. Okay, let's go to John Boyega first and Finn. FN2187. I like the dynamic right away between him and Poe. I like the little he's like, I'm breaking you out of here, man. It's
Because
like,
the
why are
right
you
thing
doing
to do.
Need a pilot, don't you? I need a pilot. All right. And then right away we get this Resistance pilot. I didn't know we had the best pilot in the Resistance. Resistance pilot flying a TIE fighter out of there. And I like the dynamic a lot between Poe and Finn.
Which, of course, is the charging cable is still plugged in when they try and fly away.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. It was at 97% battery and they tried to get away.
Yeah. It's a damn lightning cable. It's so hard to just pull out by accident.
And then we get...
Sorry, at one point later on, there's a droid who they say is on, quote, low power mode. And I was like, oh, my phone's on that right now.
Low pomo. There's a droid later who's on low power mode. We won't.
They name check it.
Oh, yeah. They name check it. All right.
Yeah.
So Steel TIE Fighter it gets shot down by the Star Destroyer. They land, crash land on Jakku, and Finn's there. He got ejected. He's in his stormtrooper uniform, goes to the ship, and Poe's not there. And at this moment, Alex is like, well, I guess they can kill him. And I was like,
well, I
I hope he's
think
not
they
dead.
did, but,
Because right away, Poe Dameron was a bigger character than I thought, even right from the offset. Or the onset? Right from the beginning. I was like, oh, okay, he's the guy. And I thought he was awesome. I was like, oh, Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac's really good. He's really good.
I was like,
Oh, for sure.
First time I saw him was Drive, I think.
He's in that movie?
And I thought
Yeah, he's the jerk boyfriend in Drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the whole cast was very capable. It was very good. And it's like it's just a fun, the way this story is told to me, it's like we get our new set of heroes first, right? Because we see Poe and then Finn meets up with Rey, who's just scavenging stuff on this planet. selling it for some dust that makes a little piece of
That was really cool.
blue
The
bread.
I was like,
That's such
whoa,
a simple-
food in Star Wars.
This is such a simple, good Star Wars effect too. That I hate to harp on poor George, but if it was George, it probably would have blossomed into like a, I don't know, CG tree or something.
I like getting. Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
No, I was just going to say in general, and I think this for everything, because one of the previews before the movie was Gods of Egypt or whatever the crap movie was called. That looks horrific. It's so bad.
That trailer's
And
hilarious.
Oh my
It
god.
is
so
tragically bad.
It's like,
Gerard Butler's just doing his 300 thing, pure and simple, and then
It looks like I think the set was next door. I think
Nikolai
he just walked into it.
Costa-Waldau or whatever his name
Costa-Waldau,
is.
yeah.
Just the use of practical effects will always be better for suspension of disbelief. It's never going to be better than practical effects, ever.
Yeah.
Ever. This movie proves it. The prequels look like ish compared to it. Gods of Egypt look like ish compared to it. And it costs more and it takes more time, but it looks 1,000 times better. Because it's real.
To speak to that point, Alex, I remember I watched Revenge of the Sith this week because I'm dumb, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because there's serious scenes where it's like Obi-Wan talking with Padme or Anakin talking with Padme, and they have these shots where it's just like Padme's talking, and behind her are 36 ships, just constantly going behind. Or Obi-Wan's just like, I think Anakin killed the young. There's a bus, there's a car, it's everything. And it's like, why did you make a movie where there's just constantly traffic behind Obi-Wan Kenobi? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked
Lots
was
of talks about taxes and tariffs.
yeah, you spend about 5 minutes with Rey, and then you're like, okay, I get a sense of what her life is like.
Yeah.
Right.
She hangs out here. She goes, does that.
Yes,
She
right?
sees people. She kicks some ass.
She
and that's
does
it.
kick some ass.
She does.
Thanks, Michael Arndt.
I loved how this is going sequentially. How Finn is wandering around and he's like, "Oh no, that girl's in trouble."
Oh, yeah.
And then she destroys a couple guys and he's like, "Oh, she can handle herself." And then
does
she goes
that.
after him and he's like, "Oh no, I'm in trouble."
Yeah.
this
He does-
girl who I thought was in trouble is
John
actually
Boyega
gonna
has so
kill
many
me.
like funny, like he does like a funny like look around thing, and even later when he's got Phasma, he's like, I'm in charge Phasma. Like he's got so much like, but it's like it's and that this is the word I'll use the F word that pervades the whole movie, which is it's fun. It's oh, what do you think I was going to
It's
say?
effing amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to use a 3-letter word for fun. It's
The
fun.
general reviews of this movie are, Star Wars is enjoyable again.
Well, yeah, it's
Not
fun.
crushing
It's
my
not-
childhood.
Yeah, it's not like the prequels are so like just the dialogue and the acting was so wooden and heavy handed. This is like they give it human moments, and that's why it feels more like a Star Wars movie because there's lots of like real stuff in it too. It's like really inhabited by
We'll use the Force.
things and
That's not
people.
how the Force
That's not how the
works.
Oh my
Force
gosh.
works.
Love it.
Yes, and Ray, just love Ray's like that guy in her face when she's charging after him, then and he's got her by the hand. He's like, "Stop taking my hand. I can take care of myself," kind of thing. He gets knocked down. He's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah," and then takes him and goes. And such a great moment. They're getting chased down by TIE fighters, and which is a great moment of like terror when they're under that awning and you can hear the ties. And he's like, "We got to go." And they're running, and it's like, "We'll take off in that. We need a pilot. You have a pilot, you." Which is kind of a callback to Luke. Is like, yeah, I'm not.
Well, he's wearing the pilot's jacket. He can't fly a thing for anything, and kind of forgets that he's trying to portray.
Yes, right. I'm with the Resistance. Yes, I'm with the Resistance.
This is what we look like. That was my favorite line.
This is what we look like. By the way, those Resistance jackets are very sweet.
Oh, it's amazing. Like, it'd be great to just have those.
I think we actually might see a lot of those on the streets, as the kids say. But then they run for this ship. Let's take the quad jumper. Boom, quad jumper explodes. And I don't know why I didn't catch it the first time I saw it.
Well, they're running back a ship, and they're like, let's take that one. She's like,
That
that's a hunk of...
That one's garbage.
Garbage,
And I
yeah.
don't know. I think it may be in the recesses of my mind. I thought, could it be? And I don't know why I didn't think it. But then when they pan over...
Well, they
I
don't
didn't
show
think
it,
at
so
all.
it's like,
I didn't think it at
No,
all
it's
till they
such a
showed
good
it.
reveal, though. That ship's garbage. And then there it is. It's the Millennium Falcon. They get on. It's like the ship hasn't flown in years.
So good.
And she turns out that she's very good at piloting it. She's a pilot. And then I'd say later we
I
probably
think it's in
find
her
out
blood.
why.
It's in her blood.
Yes, I think it's in her.
Okay, so we have theories on Rey, do we?
Oh, we have.
Oh, yeah.
We got theories. We got theories on Rey.
Because I had one right away. I was like, well,
You gotta play football. It's in your blood.
that's racist in your soul.
That's racist.
In your eyes, that's gay. That's racist.
No, he says that's homophobic.
Oh, homophobic. Damn.
Yeah. No, that's homophobic. That's black. That's racist. Anyway, community.
So they hop the Falcon. She pulls
Season 1, episode 6.
she pulls some maneuvers. So he goes down in the gunner's seat. That was so. I was even like the little red screen with the yellow grid on it, the little targeting screen we haven't seen since Star Wars.
Yeah.
There's a couple things of the Falcon that I was happy to see. He picks up the remote for a second and throws it away. He accidentally triggers the
What's the remote?
the remote that Luke fights with in A New Hope.
Oh, I heard that he did that, but I didn't. I wish I could see that again.
Blink. Well, you will. We will.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could see that. Yes, actually, Star Wars has been taken out of theaters. Everybody.
Oh, real. Can I want to tease something for later. Alex, did you catch the voice cameo in this movie?
Yes, because Matt has it and it's good.
We'll get to spoilers in a second. I don't know if it's a voice cameo or I don't know.
We're in spoilers right now, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already been spoilers.
Well, the spoiler I saw first thing on Friday was Daniel Craig's a stormtrooper, and I was like,
There you go.
That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Drove me nuts. So I actually didn't catch it when it
that's
happened.
great.
You did?
Do you know who it is? Do you know when it happens?
Yeah, it's when she's,
Yeah.
you'll release me from...
Release these binds and leave this cell with the door open.
What happened was
and drop your gun. Drop your mic.
and drop her gun. Oh, essentially, I had a friend who was like, now there's a cameo in this movie, which doesn't spoil it, which is fine. He was like, I didn't catch it, and I don't think you will, so I want to tell you. And I was like, well, don't. And then he was like, well, you don't see the person's face. And I was like, what? And then I remembered hearing about the rumor.
Okay.
So Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper, and I was like,
Because
wait.
Simon Pegg gave it away, apparently.
I was like, yeah, is Daniel Craig a stormtrooper? And my friend was like,
Yeah, I was annoyed.
and I was excited to see it.
This is why I stay away from
Get off the internet. Get off the
I
internet.
don't talk
actually-
to people.
For 4 hours before the movie, I was like, I guess I just can't. I'm not gonna use my phone anymore.
I was like that. I was like that days before. I want to give a quick shout out to the internet, though. So from what I've seen, it's done a pretty good job, not really spoiling
very
anything
good.
on a grand scale. So thanks, internet.
Actually, there was something I was like,
Except for
I
the
feel
Craig
like
game.
everybody survives in this movie because I can't imagine the internet keeping like quiet about a major character death, and I was incredibly wrong.
You may have been wrong about that.
So
You don't know for sure.
So Finn and Rey have some maneuvers. Can I also just say I like that the First Order is dangerous? Like the Falcon's being pursued by just 2 TIE fighters, but the TIE fighter pilots are really good, obviously.
I thought one was Ren for a bit because it had a mask on. I was like, is that Ren?
Oh yeah, it says
Well,
those
those
cool.
pilots usually have masks.
I know, but the Vader one was so different, and he had a different fighter, which I'm not sure if Ren has a different fighter or not. But Vader's
he's got a-
had-
yeah.
I don't even know if he flies.
Yeah,
got his
Vader's had a
lander.
different wing, so I was like, okay, that's Vader's TIE fighter.
Yeah, Kylo Ren has his lander, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like a shuttle. So they, like the First Order is dangerous again. Like the Stormtroopers are, from the very first scene, they're awful.
Yeah.
They're awful,
Yeah.
like awful people, right?
And kind of accurate with their shots. For
And
once.
kind of accurate with their shots.
And when they get shot, they have like you see them like get like fall down in ways that are realistic. Like there's a whole dynamic of it that's like, oh, you've seen movies that have people getting shot.
There's a humanness to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which-
Although they get shot once in the chest and they're dead, and I'm kind of like, well, what's the point of the armor?
Right,
They should just go out in spandex if it's not going to do anything. At least it gives them some more mobility.
Like,
Yeah. And if they can have smaller masks that are kind of form fitting,
they get made from misshapen.
Maybe they can
ball
make a
of clay.
noise. Like,
The word model means misshapen.
like every
ball
time I
of
do
clay.
putty, I do the little like weird hand dance.
Oh, you gotta do the hand
wax
dance.
off.
Oh my
you got to
God.
do it.
You guys got to revisit the series. They're so crappy. Anyway, so yes, Rey and Finn hop the Falcon.
And then they're trying to go to the Resistance base,
Yes,
Which is in the aluminum system.
which
Aluminum
Finn
system.
doesn't know, so he
Aluminum.
has to try to convince BB-8.
Oh my god, I died with the thumbs up from BB-8. I died laughing.
Can we also talk about BB-8? How great this new comic relief character is, and how it's like, if that's what George wanted to do with Jar Jar, maybe the prequels would have been different. But like this, BB-8 has such personality. Even when he's like he's trying to follow Rey around, and Tito's trying to take him for parts. Rey's like, "All right, so town's that way." He's like, "Don't follow me, town's that way." And then he's
Yeah.
kind of like rocking back and forth. He's like,
he can put a lot of humanity in this little ball, like Wall-E.
ball with a dome.
Yeah, it's a
you
lot
put
of
a
Wall-E.
dome and the dome goes aside. It's like, oh, you're like,
These little
cute.
noises. So yes, they're on the Falcon, and Finn's trying to negotiate
And he looks back and
with
forth
them.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that moment where he's like, "Who do I try?" And he's like,
so good.
He's a
It's
robot.
like the Elenium system, and then
Yeah. Oh, I died.
It says, "Droid, please." It's amazing. Also, it's the first "damn it" I think we've gotten in the series, because usually they say "blast it." Finn says it when he's trying to shoot down the TIE fighters, and he's like, "Damn it."
I thought he was gonna swear when he was stranded, like after the TIE Fighter. It's just gonna be like, oh. I was like,
There's your PG-13 right there.
you get one. Kylo Ren's like, where the?
I will mention that there were kids in front of me. They were probably 3 or 4 years old. Not a peep the whole time. It was awesome. Nothing.
Really?
Because I saw it 3:45 on Saturday because that was the only time I could see it.
Primo kid time.
Not 3D and not nothing.
You're scarred for life now.
They're like, we're going to Jack Astor's after the movie. If you say even one word during the whole movie, what you order, I will eat, and you will get nothing.
You will not be able to write on tablecloths.
You will get nothing.
It's not that you don't get to order; it's that I will eat it in front of you.
You gotta know. So we gotta move a little quicker, I think, or at least,
I know,
or
but
go
I
to things
can't-
that we are especially passionate to talk about, like
my Lord.
rumors.
I know. Well, can we just get to
The Fleetwood Mac album?
debut?
Yeah, we can go
of
to.
our two friends.
Sure.
So they're trying to fix the Falcon because there's something wrong with it, and they're in that one hatch that fixes it, which I love from Empire, right? And she's like, and then they get taken, and they're about to be boarded. It's like, oh no, boarded by the First Order.
By a First Order ship.
Yeah, but it's not. It's Han and Chewie.
Han and
were home.
Chewie.
And
Have a huge freighter.
And just right away, the relationship with Han and Chewie is right back where we left it. It's like still the old married couple type. And he's like, I talk my way out of it. Yes, I do. Every time. And he's like, I can't remember what else he said, but there's so many things he says where he's like, yeah. And then Chewie's like, and he's like, hey.
I love when Finn is like, you understand that thing?
And that thing
he's
can
like,
understand you, so you better watch what you say.
That's so great.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts, too, is when Finn accidentally activates the chess game and Chewie's lying there hurt, but he's still like,
he wants to know where he left that game off. He's like, is that guy interested?
But he's like, yeah, but it's like kind of like if you have a dog and you put the leash down or something, the dog's like, oh. It's that kind of thing. So yes, we get Han and Chewie right back where they started. I want to say Harrison Ford, over the years recently, probably is accused for not giving a whole lot of effort or energy. I thought he was on fire this movie. He was so pumped, and I think because of he knew his fate, so he's just like, well, I'll go for broke. And
The only issue I had with him was he ran like a 70-year-old man.
Which he is.
When he's running, you're like, someone would probably catch him.
But I'm glad. Yeah, but if it was George making it, then George would have CG'd Harrison's face on like a 20-year-old track athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, he was never great at running. He was always kind of like
No.
Like it was. He always seemed like he was kind of like caught off guard if he had to run because like his running is on his ship essentially. Like he's like. He's not fast. The Falcon is. I love. Yeah. Oh, how great is it when Ray's like, "You do the castle run in 14 parsecs." And he's like, 12.
It's 12. 14.
I love that.
Some of that is amazing.
I think I was, not to talk too much, but I was proud of myself. I was like, I understand everything. I get the old references, and I don't remember the last time I saw the original 3 because I was always annoyed with Lucas's tampering.
Yeah.
So can you even get the 97 editions anymore? Like something without.
I have the versions of my computer that are the original versions.
Okay, yeah.
In HD.
The 77, the 80, and the
any
83
tampering kind of
versions.
bothers me.
Yeah, it's in high def too. It's high def, original quality.
Well, just the tampering sticks out like a sword. Sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. The worst, and I especially noticed it when I was thinking back to Empire. The fact that they changed what the Emperor says to Darth Vader in Empire.
Yeah.
What did he say
so
originally,
upsetting.
And what's the new?
Well,
one?
I think it was just like we have a new enemy.
Yeah, he's like, we have a new enemy. It's the guy that blew up the Death Star. Do you remember that, Vader?
Yeah.
I liked in the first Empire, it was a different looking emperor altogether. It was actually a woman.
A little. It was a little bit different, but
voiced over
not
by
so
guy.
much that you would look at the Emperor that you saw Return of the Jedi and you're like, oh, it's different.
But he's
It's a
like
different
he's
person.
basically like the son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi.
But in the newest one, it's like, I have no doubt this is the son of Anakin Skywalker, which is kind of like, why don't you just say is probably your son? You are Anakin Skywalker.
Who is you? Because I turned you to the dark side. You
Yeah, it's like that
those
line
other
makes
movies.
no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
I was in those too.
How do you go back and like, let's change that line there?
And the other, so when Rey is co-piloting the Death Star, Rey is co-piloting the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
I was like, that was the first time where I was kind of like, okay, I think I know. I think I'm seeing a little bit like the fact that she knows so much about it just intuitively is kind of like, I feel like she might have some sort of genetic connection to
Oh yeah.
Something.
the situation.
Oh yeah. So let's get to the genetic connections. So we find out pretty.
She says her name to him.
yes.
And he has a reaction.
Yes, he does, and he
Rey-
also offers her a job. Like he's
He's
Oh,
thinking
me-
about it. He's thinking about it.
Would be nice to you. Wouldn't pay much.
You offer me a job? I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. So it's like as soon as he finds out her name, he's like, I want to have this person like nearby.
Well, plus she knew that the hyperdrive put too much stress on the something.
The compressor is pretty much.
Yes,
sorry.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm just
So
gonna.
I think
cry
that
right
Rey.
now, guys.
I think Rey is. I think Rey is also the daughter of Han and Leia.
Ooh,
yes,
interesting.
the daughter.
I have almost no doubt about that.
The daughter, or she could be.
I thought she was Luke's daughter.
She could be Luke's kid, and it could be Wait, Matt's got hands.
Okay, that's
No
the
vow of
definitely
celibacy
that's
for a Jedi,
definitely
Matt.
there is.
Is there?
Yes, that's
Huh.
why Anakin was such a thing. It was like celibacy. You kind of
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Like
That's a good point.
she could be Luke's daughter. She could be. That's like the second most likely option, I think. And if it happened, I wouldn't be totally shocked. But it's also one of those things where like, so Kylo Ren's gonna be like, "You are my cousin," because that's kind of weird, as opposed to like.
Because remember
Bone
when the
of my
guy
bone, flesh
and
of my
how
flesh.
Kylo Ren had some interesting scenes on his own, like especially when he's talking to the mask and things like that, where he feels the
pull to the
of the light side. And you're
So
like,
interesting.
"Oh!"
Isn't
And
that
he's like,
great?
"Help me, grandfather," and you're like, "Yeah."
he's trying so hard to be evil. Also, there's a lot of scenes in this movie where I'm like, how great is it blank? How great is it blank? How great is it when the dude shows up, takes his hat off, and he's like, on the Starkiller base, the First Order guy who's like, we actually lost them. How great does the audience know? It's like, oh, this guy's gonna get it.
Yeah. And he's like,
This
and
guy's
then
gonna
this
get it.
happened. Oh,
And then there was a
this.
girl, and then
Loses his mind.
which you don't see in
No,
the
Vader
original.
gets mad, but very stoically.
Yeah, Kylo Ren is very much
he's
an angry
bratty.
kid,
He's
angry
bratty.
teenager.
He's
Yes.
yeah, he's just
Fresh
whacking
face.
stuff with his lightsaber. He's like, he's
I wasn't sure when he took his mask off if they were going to do anything with his voice, which they didn't, which was good. I didn't want him to be like,
I mean, his voice is already.
It's like, also, I'll take this thing off. Yeah, but he's bratty. He's like, but
he does it a couple times.
Yes, he does. But right when he says there was a girl, he's like, what girl? He's interested right away. So there's something they're not telling us, and that's why I like that these movies are going forward instead of the prequels.
Because we don't know.
We don't know.
That's
We
so
don't
fun
know.
that way.
It's kind of the dumb part of the prequels where everything is known. There's no surprise.
It's like Obi-Wan won't die, Anakin won't die. I'll turn into Darth Vader. Padme's probably going to die. We don't know what happens to her. But this time we don't know, which is fun, which is great.
Yeah.
And now we can have theories about who they are. So Kylo Ren right away gets not right away, but decently like third of the way through the movie gets told, he's like, your dad Han Solo. I think the second time I saw someone in the theater was like, what?
But they don't really play it for a surprise, which is interesting. It's just kind of accepted. That's just kind of like.
Well, I read this
done it.
article and someone had never seen Star Wars before and they saw The Force Awakens. And they're like, I don't know if I was supposed to know that Kylo Ren was their son. And I was like, no, I don't.
No,
I'm
really.
Sure, you don't know who Kylo Ren is.
People thought Kylo Ren might be Luke Skywalker when they started the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because
But if you see the
don't
trailer,
see
it's
him
like-
in the trailer or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you see the trailer also, though, like, Mark Hamill's I think he's in his 60s. Whoever's playing Kylo Ren is obviously
He
a
is the
skinny guy in
same.
like his 30s.
He's 63, which I think is the same age Alec Guinness was when they made New Hope.
Yeah.
And-
It's
and-
crazy.
and- there you
Or
go.
as we call it back in the day, Star Wars.
So, again about Kylo Ren, Max von Sydow, he says something about the Knights of Ren, doesn't he? Or
Yeah.
am I making that up?
That's a thing.
That's a thing, and Rey's vision that she has when she touches. I'm going to jump way ahead here, but we should. When she touches the
she
lightsaber,
has an acid dream when that happens.
She has a force trip basically, which is really cool, and we really haven't seen that in Star Wars, but it kind of does a bunch of stuff at one time.
It's like Empire a little bit with the Vader helmet.
The Vader cage.
Like it's kind of like the Force does like these weird things that happen sometimes.
That's what I love about the Force. Just let me take a drag on my joint here. This is what I love about the Force, man, is that it can, if people are obviously Rey is Force intuitive or Force sensitive, so yeah, she's good at piloting. Yeah, she's good at stuff, and yeah, she's going to basically kind of discover her powers without some training, as Ren says, because probably Kylo Ren experienced it himself. He's like, she's just beginning to discover her powers. The longer we don't see her, the more dangerous she becomes. Yeah. Probably because it happened to him, right? He's like, I remember when I got my powers,
And they're more potent.
And they're
they
more...
Have these synapses start firing.
I think what's going to be interesting about Kylo Ren going forward, too, is that he is Han's kid, too. And I think there is some Han-ness in him.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, which
he's
is
rogue a little bit.
Yes, he is.
Like, he's like, Hux is like, oh, let's go get Kylo Ren. It's like, Kylo Ren pieced out already. He's gone. He doesn't care.
Oh, I love
He's in it for himself. It's a little bit of that selfishness.
Yes, and I love the thing. He's like, bless you. He's like, my men are good. He's like, they're good at committing high treason. They're good at that. So
that was pretty good.
So bratty and crappy.
I thought the girl from Game of Thrones is going to be in it more.
I think she will be going forward.
Okay. Well, so we don't know because
she went down a garbage chute. That was awesome.
Ship out of a garbage chute, a trash compactor. It does.
That was
sanitation.
So
they know that he knows that, right? You're in sanitation. It's like, yeah.
Can we talk about the overall breadth of the movie, which is the First Order came from the old, whatever you called it, Empire.
Yeah.
And the whole plan is, all right, okay, we had 2 Death Stars. They blew them up. That's clearly not working.
Yeah,
so just build a way, way, way bigger one.
Well, I think what they did was
called the Star Killer, right?
Basically, they installed a laser on a planet. Is what
on a planet, yeah.
Is what they did.
That's what happened.
How good is it? So Star Killer is like an old school Star Wars name because I think it was Luke Starkiller. So the fact they used it is kind of like in James Bond when they go back and call something after like an old James Bond book or something like that.
Yeah.
And it literally kills a star to work.
It literally kills a star. It literally steals the light.
From the sun.
And we're jumping way ahead here again. But when Han faces down Kylo Ren on that bridge.
And he yells at him? What's he call him when he yells at him?
Ben!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My heart kind of cracked a little bit.
I was like, his name's Ben. That's devastating.
Isn't that amazing, man? Isn't that amazing? Ben Solo becomes Kylo Ren.
Would he be Ben Solo or Ben Skywalker?
Well, because
Leia or Ben Organa.
Well, Leia's Organa. He'd never be a Skywalker.
That's why he turned to the dark side, because he's like, I don't know my freaking last name.
Episode 9 is Ben Organa Solo.
Remember, Jimmy Smith adopted Leia.
It was Jimmy Smith. It was Jimmy. Yeah.
It was Jimmy Smith.
Yeah,
so he should be.
Yeah, I like this cameo on this movie. Hey, it's me, Jimmy Smith. How you doing, guys?
Hey, guys. What's up?
But as soon as Han and Chewie walked in that room, I was like, "This is where he goes."
I went to see the movie with my buddy Matt, and he wasn't really up on anything, so he didn't want me to say anything. I was like, I have some theories about what's going to happen, you know, and we discussed some other podcasts that one of the original, 3 someone's going to bite it.
Yeah.
So as soon as we see, Yeah.
So as soon as Han walked in that room, because this really is Han's movie, and this is Han's last stand, and it's such a great way for him to go out. And I was thinking, like before the movie, I was like, I hope he doesn't go, and now I'm like,
Well, should we talk about Ren's origins a bit more? Which is he was a Jedi training under Luke and went, rogue for lack of a better term, or turned to the dark side with training, which basically split up Han and Leia because they reacted in their own different ways. Han took off and began smuggling again. So they're separated until they see each other and C-3PO shows up, which is a great touch. Love that.
It's like, hey, pops in there.
Probably didn't recognize you with my red arm.
Exactly. That's
I died.
He's delightfully.
It's perfect.
So Kylo Ren,
just like 3PO.
Luke, is Han and Leia's kid who trained under Luke and then got turned to the dark side. When he gets turned to the dark side, that's why Luke Skywalker vanishes. That's what turns Han and Leia apart, and that's what brings us to this moment on the bridge when Han Solo sees his son for the first time in 10, 15 years.
It might
20
also be
years.
why. It might also be why Rey is on Jakku.
Yes.
Why else would you just leave? If you just had a kid, why would you be like, and now you're going to go into a backwater planet?
Yes, with not a lot of water on it. I think it's Han who says he has too much Vader in him too. He's like,
too much. I don't even says Vader. I think he says.
He does say Vader.
He
Does he Vader?
He says Vader in a way that's like, oh right, that's like a person that you would. That's like the
way you describe
a
him.
mark you would think of in your mind.
He has too much of that in him.
I would think he'd remember. Yeah, he has too much Vader in him, and he's like, we dealt with it in our own way, and he's like, Luke couldn't get him back. He's like,
He said I dealt with it in my own way, and then Leia said we both did.
We both
And
did,
you're like, oh.
but he's like, Luke couldn't get
Carrie
him back.
Fisher looked good, by the way.
She did.
Compared to like how she had been looking,
She did. They made her
Like in
lose a
30
couple
Rock?
libbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's like, Luke couldn't get him. She's like, but Luke's is a Jedi. You're his father, And she's like, when you go get our son, bring him back. And ties in the whole theme of this whole movie series, which is all about family,
Fun, yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Different sides of the Force.
Yeah, so Han has the moment with them, and
I love that Han's like her saying that is enough to actually motivate him to do something that is questionable.
yeah. It could be his.
Well, he
last
also
stand.
hadn't seen his son in forever. So
Yeah.
he had seen him on where's Ma's place?
I don't know what that planet is, but he's like,
Okay.
I saw him, Leia. I saw our son, where she lands there, and he faces down Kylo on the thing, and they have a fantastic kind of exchange where Kylo puts his lightsaber, he turns his saber off, and he puts it in Han's hand. And
What he says? What's he say to him? He says, "I have something that I need to do, but I don't think I have the strength to do it. Can you help me?" And Han's like, "Duh, you're my son. Unfortunately, the thing he doesn't have the strength to do."
Yes, and earlier, I think it's Supreme Leader's like, you'll do something that no one has done. He says something like that, which is basically kill your father, which doesn't complete his training because he says, bring Kylo Ren to me, he'll complete his training. But and everyone, like, it's a real, it's a kind of a callback to the first Death Star in a way when Luke sees Obi-Wan get cleaved in half.
Yeah.
Like everyone sees it, right?
Yeah.
And so
How cool is that shot when Boyega and the sun's coming down?
Oh yeah, well, it's not coming down; it's being sucked right up.
Yeah,
As
but
soon
you
as
see the light come in on the bridge.
Cinematically, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really well
there's
done.
just like that kind of spotlight there. The light is taken from that galaxy, from the universe, really, and they're just bathed in red light. And I was like, here he goes, and just zoom.
And then Chewie starts kicking ass.
And so and Chewie gets a shot in on the guy too, and obviously he starts raging.
So no audible reaction in my theater when Han Solo's killed. By Kylo Ren.
For me, neither time either. I think because I think just leading up to it, I think people are like, okay, and I'm like, I mean, the guy's super old, and I think the story should be about these new characters. So
Of course.
Yeah, I think people made peace, and the fact that I got way more Han than I thought I was going to get out of that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
which I quite enjoyed. So so Han goes, and there's a very nice X-wing assault. I liked Poe and his crew of guys. Let's give a shout out to Akbar and Neen Nunb from Return of the Jedi. And I checked the credits, and it is both of them. It is Admiral Akbar.
Oh, and actually, so then Nub's like, I blew up a Death Star before I can do it again.
It is Akbar, and it is Neen Nunb, who's like...
Shout out to Greg Grunberg for not thinking, like, I'm going to be a fighter pilot. Maybe I should lose 15 pounds. So distracting in that movie.
Hey, Porkins had the great tradition of large gentlemen. I have a question about the Star Killer.
Yes.
How do they aim a planet?
How do they aim a planet?
I don't know if you aim
Or
a
do they
planet
just get
because
lucky
you
in there?
see you see when they kill the whole system, when 5 stars go, I mean, they can kind of go in their own thing.
Yeah,
So
but
But don't
kind
they
of, like,
intentionally shoot like the different planets and moons there?
But could you not just be like, because they can clearly aim the lasers.
Also, when
It's not like the Death Star where they're like,
yeah, when General Hux is like giving his speech and he's watching the weapon go off, maybe wear some sunglasses, dude.
I'm a little annoyed I
He's,
didn't
like,
know
staring
that
right at it.
they actually just put the laser in the planet. I don't know why I didn't realize that.
That's okay.
Idiot.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Should be like, we put the laser on the planet. Remember that, guys. That took a while.
But even the setup is like, isn't it just like the Death Star? This is the Death Star. Boom. This is the Star Killer. It's like, oh,
Yeah, and that's,
well,
I think,
it's always
part
going
of
to
what
do that.
enforced my understanding of it. They just made, like, a way bigger one. But, yeah.
I love
Okay.
how there's no time to get emotional with that other planet blowing up. They're just kind of like, well, we got to stop this because it's coming our way.
Yeah.
So let's get together. Oh, yeah, something I wanted to... this is shortly after this is when Kylo Ren gets into a lightsaber fight with both of them, really.
With
Finn
both
and
of
then
them, yeah.
Finn and then Rey. And it's funny because you have that moment, in the trailer where you see Finn, you're like, he's a little scared. Is he actually a Jedi? And he's not. He's just able to use the lightsaber because he seems to have been trained in that. And
Yeah,
people
the
were
Stormtroopers
online.
have like some melee weapons.
Yeah.
That was
And,
odd. When he's like, traitor, and he gets, like, the...
He's got the stick.
It's like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then he runs it through a guy. I was like, oh yeah, that looks so cool. Mm-hmm. But people were like, people online were like, oh, how come Kylo Ren can be almost beaten by these two people? It's like, well, we don't know how good Kylo Ren is.
And
Yeah.
First off,
Hey.
we know that he can block lasers.
it could be a
who does
bunch
he-
of amateurs, which is
B,
great.
he hasn't
Who does he
finished
fight with
training.
a lightsaber?
Yeah.
Does he just go up against like a no? He's got nothing to go. But Rey is like kind of a little bit.
Also, go
she's
back.
gifted athlete.
He's gifted. Yeah, she's all
Right?
state.
Isn't he
all
injured
pro.
off the bat?
She's an all-American.
Oh yeah,
He's
when
already
he's,
hurt.
Chewie shoots him.
He's
when he's
hurt in the
hammered
hip.
his side.
Yeah,
He's,
'cause who
punching
shot
his
him?
Side.
Chewie.
Chewie shot him, yeah.
With the
so he's
bowcaster.
I'm so
injured.
glad Chewie got a hit in.
He's a
Oh,
little
me too.
emotionally distressed because he did just kill his father,
Yeah.
so that's one thing. And then he's
Yes.
got two people against him, so there's a number of things in there that can kind of justify that.
Also, go back to the first trilogy though. Who does Luke fight with a lightsaber before he duels Darth Vader? Nobody. He fights.
yeah.
He has the remote where he's like clink, clink, clink. But he doesn't. He doesn't really have any lightsaber training, which is great. And yeah, we get this fight. And
that was the shot, by the way, in the trailer where we're kind of nearing the end of the movie, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, there's one shot that's definitely hasn't happened yet, and boom.
Yeah,
actually-
Yeah.
There's actually a number of trailer things that didn't happen in the movie, which
that
I'm
one just
okay
stuck
with.
out, I guess.
Yeah,
Because it was very iconic.
I got Missy at the beginning. I didn't get Missy with Han dying because I was like, okay, I can see that. But when Luke's saber's in the snow and Kylo Ren reaches for it,
Oh, I was like, it's going.
and
It's
he's trying
going.
to, and he tries to pull it with the Force, and it right by his
Shoots
face,
right by him, right
and
into Rey's
Rey
hand.
has it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there we go.
I was all
okay.
pumped up.
I was
thought
pumped.
it
I
was
was
going to
like-
go past him. I just thought it was going to go like another direction.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Actually,
I
I
was
did
like,
kind of
Rey's going to
expect-
overpower him.
I expected Luke to have it, and then he takes his robe off, and he's got two other robot arms. He's like General Grievous, and he spins them all around, and he's all CG. Oh, it's so awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it was
It's
so
like the first fight scene in Blade.
So you get like a great, first of a trilogy lightsaber fight with these two, and they literally get separated. And again, if it was
By the
Lucas, one of them
planet.
would like flip right over.
Yeah. I like that there's a situation where it's like they're cutting down trees by accident, and they're like, oh no.
Yes,
tree.
well, yeah.
Here's
exactly.
one of the issues I have is for some reason these lightsabers very good at cutting through trees. He goes up the back of John Boyega, and Boyega's just like,
I don't
Yeah.
think he gets a good hit on him. Also,
no,
is-
they never get a good hit. They cut through trees, and then they're like, oh, it scraped my shoulder.
Yeah.
That arm's
okay,
down,
he went
but
right
I'm
through.
still
He went
going.
right through Han.
It
He
did,
went
it
right
did.
through
But
Han,
just in
yeah.
general, when they're cutting through trees, and then like it's always scripts and scrapes, and it's the same with any sword fight, really, in any movie. But it's the same.
Yeah, it's
thing.
like UFC fighting. You got to stay out of reach. You know,
Yeah.
what's his reach? You got to
Man,
stay
I
out.
get pumped when Boyega's just like. I wanted
was,
something
"Come
to
and get
happen,
it."
like because he didn't know how to do it. So if he was just like, and it goes down the other way, he's like,
Oh, that would have been amazing.
When you
It
get
went
a
totally out
song.
of place the time.
like just real quick, but because he doesn't know it anyway, it would have been cool.
Intentional, I swear.
He's like,
Lupita
"Oh, crap."
Nyong'o, obviously, we now understand Matt why she's not on the poster for the movie.
Yeah,
She is.
I guess,
She is.
yeah, sorry, but in
Maz
her
is
own
on the poster.
form.
as her own person.
As-
Also,
yeah.
another moment where you think maybe Rey might have some relatives because she says, "Who's the girl?" And I think they cut away right away, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
So
kinda-
I'm thinking.
So Han's like, "I think she's mine."
Yeah. I'm hoping Maz comes back and becomes like more important than we know.
I think she will.
Really?
Yeah.
You think she
Oh.
might? I mean, I don't know. Like her
I just
Walter
kinda
Barr
like-
got trash. She's had that watering hole for 1,000 years, and it got trashed by the First Order.
I heard they actually cut a lot of her out of the movie.
I'm thinking they did too, because
Like
a
a
lot
Jar Jar
of,
Binksian.
yeah, that was a kind of an observation we had afterwards, which is like, she wasn't as big a deal as we thought. She might be, but she I still liked her though, as like a little orange dude. Where's my boyfriend? So we're at the end here now.
Yeah.
Now
They've destroyed the planet.
It's all fine now here. How are you? They destroy the planet, and they don't have a medal ceremony like Rey lands. And
I really didn't want them to, because this
does
get into the territory of being a little too similar to A New Hope and
a droid
some
with
of the original ones.
And
But don't you just like the Resistance? Like you just like these people?
Yeah,
like
for
you,
sure.
You just hate the First Order and you just like these people. Not just
Resistance
because
don't...
the movie said so, but because you're like, no, I think they're good. Even the guy from Rush
and
Hour
when
2 was
Finn
there. It was awesome.
and Poe meet back up and they hug, and he's like, "Is that my jacket?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
No, keep it. Looks good on you. I thought it was great.
And also, like, the Resistance wouldn't give out medals. They would, like, sit back, have a beer, and then, like, 5 minutes later, be like,
I think
okay,
it's
what
that
next?
kind of thing.
Well,
Like,
one of the
they
complaints too was
Yeah.
not complaints, but they're like, well, how hasn't the technology evolved? But you see that the Resistance is basically in an old hideout that they used, forever.
And it kind
ago.
of has evolved a little bit. Like,
It has
when you're the
evolved a little
Falcon, you
bit.
get a sense that you're like, oh, that's probably an older schematic for how that
junk.
works.
Yeah. What a piece of junk. So here we are at the end.
The very end.
The very end, and this is where I started to become scared because she gets on the Falcon.
I thought it was going to end. I thought it was going to.
I was terrified it was going to end like Empire, which is like, but even Empire, it's like, all right, we'll get Han, don't worry. He's wearing Han's clothes, and then they go off the thing. But she gets on the Falcon, she goes off, and what does Kylo Ren say earlier? He's like, at night, desperate to sleep. You see the island. She goes to an island in this, and probably another observation someone else can make is like, how do you need a map to get through space? It's because in Star Wars you got to plot a hyperspace course, right?
Right.
So that's the map when it's zipping through stuff.
So what awakens R2 the first time? Is it Rey's presence that awakens? Because he's been in low power mode since Luke left.
Yeah,
And
his battery's yellow.
It's not
Has the
BB-8 with the
Force.
map because BB-8 was in front of him earlier. So it has to
BB-8
be.
smacks into him.
It has to be Rey's presence, does it not?
Or the lightsaber, which he has.
Okay,
And there
okay.
seems to be some mystical connection to the lightsaber, so it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
Because he touches R2.
Yes,
For some reason, I thought it was Rey.
in the vision he touches R2 with this, which is
Yeah.
cool. So Rey shows up on the island with Chewie and R2 and ascends the steps.
Okay, I thought R2 was on the. If you go back, I think R2 is on the base when she's taken off in the Falcon, and then all of a sudden he was on the ship.
Oh,
I was
that'd be
like,
amazing.
So
he
we'll have to
uses
go back and
rockets
look
from the
for that.
prequels. And he
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Will. Go ahead.
He's got hyperspace, hyperspace rockets. So she ascends the steps and
90,000 steps.
very iconic.
Takes a full 5 minutes.
Very stoic. Luke's just kind of standing there, and then
The beard.
and like at every moment, I was like, yeah. I was like, no, don't end it. What a great ending. He turns around, and first, he looks awesome, by the way.
Oh, yeah, because he's got the beard and the
Good
hair.
And the
beard,
hair.
The
And
hair,
he
too.
looks-
I was like, oh,
He
man.
looked pretty trim, but also like I've seen interviews with Mark Hamill, like the voice actor over the years, but seeing him on top of that cliff at the end, and he turns around and looks at her, I'm like, that's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy we left at Return of the Jedi. That's the guy. And she takes out the saber, and she's not she's not handing it to him. She could be pointing it at him, for like accusatory for leaving. I mean, we don't know.
I love he's got this face though that's clearly like that's like I'm
When
a
he
Jedi,
sees
but like
it-
I've seen some things and I'm
There's
hurt.
some stuff,
And I've
But
hurt
he
people.
Sees the lightsaber, and
Yeah.
it's like a combination of how do you get that? You must be important. Here we go again, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then boom, and I'm just like, give me episode 8 right now. Just
Come on,
give it to me.
Ryan. Get on it.
Yeah, hurry up.
I kind of wish JJ could get another crack at this because I think he crushed it.
I think
This
that
is
was
JJ's best
job.
movie.
Yeah, because I think what's going to happen is Ryan Johnson is writing and directing the 8th, and then is writing a treatment for the 9th. Is what I understand.
Yes. And
JJ's
there's
just
another.
too busy. He can't promote Star Trek and do another Star Wars.
Don't leave Trek then.
No,
he directed
has.
the third one.
Well,
Who directed? No, he didn't. Who directed? the third?
Justin Lin.
Right.
Yeah, he took a break from playing
Insanity.
for the Rockets. A word used. I'll give a shout out to Ian Hanlon, friend of the show. A word used that was good to describe this movie too was restraint. They actually did show a lot of restraint on this. They didn't blow their wad all at once, and it's like it's such a great first chapter in a new trilogy. And we have these new characters, which we started out with, and we like them all. We like the ones we like. We hate the ones we were supposed to hate.
Yeah,
it's great, and let's go. So episode 8, what's going to happen?
There's a point during the movie where I was like, if this movie was 6 hours long, I'd watch all of it. And like I was just like, I'm so.
Well, my
so
buddy after it ended,
Like,
he was like, "That was really long," and I was like, "No, it wasn't. It went by in 12 seconds."
I didn't feel it was long at all.
Yeah, no.
It was partially because I was in the very back of the theater, but I watched the whole movie with my elbows on my knees, basically, just leaning forward. Yeah. So episode 8, what's gonna go on? What's the First Order's next move after No Star Killer? What do we find out about Snoke? These are all just speculations that we have.
And is Luke coming back? I mean, that's not a guarantee by any stretch.
Luke Rey's got to convince him to either train
Maybe the
her,
death of Han will.
Or he's like,
do that.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to have their own kind of?
Well, they can't like Yoda Luke thing.
Yeah,
Like, he'll
I
be
think
on
that's
her
exactly
back.
what it's going to be.
I think
Can
he'll
you
be on
imagine?
her back, and she'll be running. She's like, "You're really heavy." He's like, "Just
no, but it's
go."
training on that planet, I guess, kind of separate from everything else.
Or they might train somewhere else. I mean, she's got the ship, but we don't know, and we're excited to find out.
Yeah.
This is so different than the end of episode 1, where it's like, all right, the Gungans have a peace ball finally. Like, all right,
Who the?
why do we?
Let's leave
why do we care?
any discussions of the prequels is just a waste.
And again,
of
like I
time.
said, it's just they're rendered pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah.
And this should be.
This is in a totally different.
This is Star Wars again, guys.
It's another level.
It's
it might be
Star
better
Wars
than
back.
It might
Bottom
be
line
better than
is
Return
Star
of the
Wars
Jedi.
is back.
Yeah, it might be. But yeah, the bottom
It
line.
deserves
Star
to be
Wars
said
is
in the same breath as the original trilogy, which is like the highest compliment you can pay it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like the creed of Star Wars.
Yeah, and this movie is going to make a
From The
trillion,
Office?
million, trillion. Yes.
No,
from The
Creed, the boxing movie.
Oh, I was like every time I saw an article that was like, could break box office records. It's like, guys, it's guaranteed to break every record of the box office. There's no question this movie will be the biggest movie of all time.
Well, apparently a lot of people weren't going because they thought it was sold out everywhere. A lot of press releases were coming out because my friend's in PR, and she's like, everything that's coming to Star Wars is, tickets are available, by the way. There's a lot of theaters showing it on a lot of screens.
Oh, yeah.
If
you want to see it,
opened a
you
bunch
can.
more. They opened a bunch more. That's why.
Yeah.
And so when we went to the movie at 10 o'clock on Friday night, my friend was looking at the theaters. He was like, between this theater and Dartmouth Crossing, there are 9 screens showing this movie at this time. They have 9 late shows.
Wow.
And it's like, and that's not even factoring in like Park Lane. So it's like if
I
you
saw
were in
Park
Halifax, you saw Park Lane?
Yeah.
If you were in Halifax on Friday night, there was like 11,000 seats. You probably would have said.
Park Lane's the best theater in Halifax for
11,000,
only
that's
having
too
to
many.
get there half hour ahead of time. And so, like, we get there probably half hour early and get decent seats.
Really?
The problem was the screen wasn't center to the theater itself, which always bothers me. So we were a little off center. But it's one thing you notice when you're before the movie and never notice when the movie's on because you're engrossed.
Unless it's a bad movie and you're just like, oh, these seats really suck. But for this movie, you're just absorbed, engrossed in the story. Oh, guys, and I just want to say that it's gonna, like I said, I'm coming home at the beginning of the show.
See you tonight.
I'll see you tonight. We'll meet at the keg. I'm taking the Falcon.
Sweet.
But I very much would like to. I very much like to see this movie again back home.
Yeah.
Matt wants to. If you guys are down,
I'm going to convince my wife to come with
definitely
us.
down to see it. Would love to see it with her too. It'd be great.
I'll convince my wife to come.
Yeah.
My wife.
Yeah.
My Wi-Fi.
And gosh, I mean, there's so much more we can say. We'll probably say more when we
Of
meet
course.
live. When you guys see it again,
Yeah.
we'll have
probably
more
next week we'll have a live podcast.
stuff in mind. There's a lot more stuff I have to say about it. But I want to say, for most importantly, everybody, Merry Christmas, and thank you very much for listening.
Oh, yeah, it's Christmas.
This is
the
a lovely
and the Force
episode.
be with you guys.
May the Force be with all of you. Keep it in church, pal.
And also with you. And with your
And with
spirit.
your spirit. Yep.
And here's a giant peace ball for you to take with you. To end
Oh, man. There's no medal ceremony at the end of this podcast. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at William C. Vaughn.
I'm at MP Vaughn.
You can call me on my cell phone late night. No, check me on Twitter at EvonICVU, GH, and ICS.
If you've heard this and you've heard the spoilers or you've seen it, when does the spoiler embargo lift?
Gosh, I don't know. I feel you shouldn't openly talk about details about Star Wars for at least another month, and then even then,
I know everybody at Christmas dinner will have seen it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, anybody who cares will have seen it.
Grammy would be like, hey, guys, shut up. I haven't seen it yet. Whack you in the head. No, Grammy.
Come on.
All right, everybody. This is lovely. And there you go.
See you on the other side.
What more do you say?
See you tonight, bros.
See you tonight. There you go.
Peace.
All right. Peace in the Middle East.